Hello you guys, and welcome back to another video. Happy New Year. If you are new here, my name is Jackie, and in today's video I wanted to share with you guys some of my New Year's resolutions, goals, prayers, things that I'm believing for this year. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. On January 1st, I sat down and just kind of wrote down some of the goals that I have in 3 areas: personal, professional, and spiritual. And then yeah, just kind of spent time with the Lord and prayed on it. And I definitely will continue to add to this list if I think of anything else. But I thought it would be fun to just share with you guys if you are also setting goals and writing down things that you're believing for this year. I always love like hearing what other people are doing. So yeah, I'm gonna share, I'm gonna run through my list, and some of the things I'll probably expound a little bit more upon, and other things I'll just kind of like quickly go over if it's like super self-explanatory. So for my personal goals, number 1, which was on my list last year, is to read and complete at least 6 books. So last year I definitely started a lot of different books, but I didn't finish very many of them. So this year I definitely want to read through and complete at least 6 books. I feel like that's a good, achievable, like attainable goal for me personally. My second one is to journal and reflect more often or more consistently. So journaling is something that I've always done since I was like a young girl, from my early teens. And I have loved being able to look back on my journals and kind of like remember that younger version of myself, and get into that headspace and be reminded of what it was like during that time of life. And so I love journaling for that reason of being able to look back on it. And I also think like journaling is a great way for me to process things that I'm going through, and a good form of reflection for me. And so I definitely want to be more consistent this year. I feel like in the last few years, especially since becoming a mom, it's something that I kind of like pushed to the side. But I want to integrate that back into like my quiet time, whether that's like every day or even like I'm just thinking practically like a couple times a week. I feel like that's a great way to like just kind of check in with myself and write down prayer requests and then be able to look back on things, So I'm gonna definitely be doing that more. The next thing on my list here is to spend less for the sake of keeping up, and to thrift more and be more wise with my money. And I don't think there's anything wrong with like buying a product, but I do think that it's important. Like I want to be, I guess, more conscientious of the intentions behind why I may be purchasing an item. And in the past, I feel like I've fallen into the trap of like, if I buy this item, it's going to enhance my life like this person said it did for them, and just kind of like being easily influenced, I guess would be what it is. So this year I want to definitely be more guarded in that aspect, because you don't need everything that other people are promoting for you to buy, and buying certain items will not help you to achieve the status of life that you feel like a person that has it is living. I know it's silly in like to say out loud, but I think it's something that subconsciously lingers when we are thinking of like purchases and stuff. So, and then one of the big things is that I actually feel like the Lord really impressed upon my heart is to focus more on my inward person rather than my external appearance. So I've always been a person that has struggled with keeping up with an image and caring too much about how others perceive me. And so it's kind of like the fear of man. So being afraid of what other people would think of me if I do a certain thing, or if I look a certain way, or if I come off a certain way. And I'm always like afraid of being misunderstood. But that is something that I feel like the Lord has helped me to grow in very gradually over the last few years. And this year, I feel like the Lord is really impressing upon my heart to revisit that and to really focus on the heart change rather than an external appearance. I feel like last year, like I was really consumed a lot by like Instagram and that world of like the beauty of that you can like the beauty of like curated images and like a curated lifestyle. And I feel like the Lord is kind of pulling like has convicted me of that and like pulling me away from that and reminding me like man looks on the outward, like on the outside, but I see your heart. And that's from 2 Samuel, when the Lord goes and has Samuel anoint David as king. And so I want to be reminded of that this year, is like, how am I allowing the Lord to work on my heart and develop my character and the fruit of the Spirit within my own life and within my home and my family, and focus more on that than on material things and on like outwardly how things look, you know? So that's a huge thing for me this year, and I could definitely talk on and on about it, but for the sake of time, I'll move on to some of my professional goals. So I'll speak specifically about YouTube because this is something that I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent in. I would love to reach at least 2,000 subscribers by the end of 2024, which I feel like is attainable. Like it also feels kind of bizarre because it feels like that's a large number. Like I've never done social media in this sense before. So yeah, it seems kind of far-fetched, but it also seems a lot more doable than like 50K, you know? So 2,000 subscribers, and I feel like I want to like grow slowly in a way that is organic, in a way that feels like I'm building a community here on this space rather than just like, you know, getting views like for a viral video or something, you know, which of course, if a video went viral, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I'm just saying like I am set on like a slow growth process. And so I am going to continue to work on it, work on this craft, and continue to hopefully grow this community of people and just share with you guys fun stuff. So that's one of my, I guess, professional goals. And along with that is just continuing to be a light and a voice of truth on this platform. And I think it's so cool to see other Christian creators doing their thing and finding like a place, like building their own communities, you know? So that's what I really love about YouTube, is being able to like create long form content, which I really enjoy, like talking to you guys and like, or talking to the camera and sharing my thoughts with whoever watches my videos. I really enjoy that, and I think it's really cool like that I can integrate my faith in with that. So it's definitely something that I want to continue to grow and do this year. And then lastly is some of my spiritual goals. One of my goals is to read through the Bible, which I feel like is very basic. I have started many like Bible in a year programs, but I have not successfully finished them. So that's something that I'm doing this year. I actually have a book, and basically it just takes you like day by day through a couple chapters each day, and then there's like a little space where you can write down like your thoughts on, like your thoughts or summaries, like reflection from your reading. So that's something that I am going to be going through, and I have already started. And yeah, it's just going to be really, really chill, and hopefully I can continue. The challenge of it, I feel like, is the consistency and the discipline part of doing it even when you don't feel like it or when it's inconvenient. So that's something that is kind of like pretty basic, like I said, but I am still going to challenge myself to do it this year. So that's one. Another thing too is just like overcoming self-doubt. What I think of is like my thought patterns, the way that I think. I do not want to live as a victim and with a defeated mindset. So I feel like I've been that person for a long time. And over the last few years, the Lord has really transformed the way that I think and allowed me to become more and more free through his word, and through allowing his word to renew my mind, to transform my heart, that I can now like recognize when there are little things or little thoughts or little ideas that pop up in my head that don't align with his word. You know, like for example, like sitting here filming this video, like I had the thought of like, you don't have anything good to share, so don't film. And that is not one of God. And that is like the root of that thought is doubt, is fear, is insecurity. And I no longer want to, like, I want to recognize that, and I want to replace that with truth. And I want to be able to move forward and be obedient and act on what the Lord has put in front of me, and to be able to do it faithfully and well with confidence in him, not in my own strength, not in my own doing, but in him, you know. So that's something that I'm going to be working on this year, is just continuing to allow the Lord to purge, you know, those ugly things out of me and out of my life. Okay. Last thing is, I'm praying and believing for a godly community and sisterhood this year. I have really lacked in having sisterhood and like women's like focused community around me. And yeah, that's something that I've always desired and have prayed for in the last several years, and I'm going to continue to believe for this year as well. So if you are there with me, I encourage you to pray for your community as well. We are not meant to do life alone. We are meant to do life in community and communion with the Lord and with other believers. And so that's something that I am believing for this year, is just to grow in community, whether that be like joining the women's group at a local church or something. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just praying for it and gonna allow God to let that unfold as it does. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that as my last thing. And that pretty much sums up my goals. I do have like a few personal ones that I didn't share, and my husband and I also have our own goals together, but those are the ones that I felt like would be fun to share with you guys. And I hope that this video encourages you somehow as you're kind of working through your goals and setting your goals. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video next week. Bye.